Okay, so here we go. We have a multi-location pet retail and grooming stores. The business overview. So they focus right now on specialty health foods. They are the shop to go to when you can't find something that you need for your pets. Puts us in a unique spot against the big box. They also have grooming, self-pet wash is a big thing for them, and they even have a little pet bakery. Target audience, as I mentioned, health conscious pet owners. These customers are not people that are looking for the cheapest or sometimes even the most convenient. They're looking for a place where they can bring their dogs. They trust. They know that there's experience and knowledge with the staff in the store to help them get the right food for their dogs. So when we talk about competition, obviously there's a lot of competition in this space, but this company's carved out a unique niche in the industry. Grooming services, we're going to talk about that. We have a great plan to expand that. And then obviously just pet lovers in general. So besides the accessories, you can come get some birthday cakes. By the way, for you to know that this is a little shout out to the Dumb and Dumber fans out there. Had to slide that in there. Here are the locations, Phoenix and Scottsdale. Heavy, a lot of foot traffic on the Phoenix one. Let me get this out here. And not so much on the Scottsdale one. However, Scottsdale does have 40,000 cars a day going by. Phoenix has about 28 to 30,000. So really great locations. Sales, current sales right now, primarily all in store. There is no online sales. So right now, like I said, they're known for specialty health foods, grooming, self-wash, and some other services. VJ here is going to build out the infrastructure for the online sales. Here are the numbers. So you'll see here, this isn't just a small little pet shop. They've got 2 locations. They're pumping through some good numbers, and we feel we can absolutely double this company, if not more, over the next 3 to 5 years, which we will get into in a moment. Current owners. The reason we like this company a lot is, one, the owners are passionate, which so is obviously our team. I mean, my wife, this is her office. She even has animals on the wall, so I can't get away from it in my house, which I love, by the way. So the management team, they have 37 people total in this company. We feel that's a little heavy. I actually went in and visited the stores yesterday, just as kind of a secret shopper, and learned a ton. They seem to be under the impression that they have an amazing customer experience. When you walk in there, it's second to none. Nah, I would beg to differ. As a sales guy, man, we didn't get spoke to one time. Nobody pitched us a product. A lot of opportunity there to really increase the engagement with the customers. So we think we can trim down some of that management team. We think they're a little too heavy. But currently the owners, they're brothers. They've been in the business for just about 20 years. They're cool to stay on and support us. They're going to be the landlords as well. And the reason they're selling is they want to retire. They've been doing this for a while. The one seller wants to go play music, and we already asked him to play a concert when we buy this from him as a transition event. And he's on board with that. And the other brother wants to go ride dirt bikes around South America and you know, Pan Am and all that. So I think VJ and I are going to go do that with him. So now we'll get to the market overview, and this is VJ's section. So go ahead, VJ.
Thanks, Dan. You did great so far. So market, as you guys can see from the market, it's expanding and it's doubling from globally. And the market is doubling from 5 to 6 years with the services that we are trying to add to the business, from customer service experience to online business, online sales, adding more on doubling down on grooming. That will make us go tenfold, and we can double the business. We are targeting to doubling the business in 3 to 5 years, adding more stores to our footprint, and expanding locally and globally as later on. And the market is not just increasing in US, in UK also. So we might go as well international later on, maybe start with Canada, Mexico, and then other parts of the country. So that is the long-term plan for us to grow globally. Next one, Dan. Current marketing trend and tooling which the company is using at this point, they are, I would not say leveraging the whole social media. Their spend is barely, I would say minimum, like less than 1% on of their revenue on it. For Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they only have 1,480 Google reviews, but a good rating of 4.6. However, we are usually how marketing works is like you need to put at least 30 to 40% into marketing. So because the turnover rate is less, when the reach, you have to reach more people, and the people will come back to you is based on marketing is low. So you have to spend heavily on marketing so you can increase that and reach more people to get and align with them and get them come to you on your site, on your in your store and whatnot. Next one, Dan.
So
Over to you.
I'll talk about competition here. Big box, we mentioned that on our team hangman call yesterday. The only team, by the way. So we had some great feedback about big box retail. So like I mentioned earlier, we've this company's carved out a niche where the big box don't carry these specialty food brands. And a lot of the customers are coming back because of the environment. We have a little video at the end here that'll show you exactly kind of what the stores are how they're laid out and what a lot of their focus is on. Other boutique pet stores, a lot of these are small little franchises. This is not, we have an advantage over them. And then grooming salons, we'll talk about this. That industry is pretty fragmented. It's difficult to kind of keep people. However, right now there's already 11 groomers on staff. So we kind of have a stable of these to pull from. As far as the grooming services, so this is where something interesting happened yesterday. Again, on our team hangman call, I am the what is it, the unofficial recruiter for team hangman, by the way. So if you're looking for a new team, come on over. So this is all Jerry and Kelly's fault. They've told me to shout out team hangman. So but something interesting happened yesterday. Ty Bohannon asked, he said, why are your products so much more than your grooming? Why are your services only half your products? And we didn't really have an answer until we went to the stores yesterday. And we noticed that their focus is on the self-pet wash. Self-pet wash is less than 10% total of their revenue. Grooming is about 30%. Products are about 70%, 60 to 70%, depending on the store. So they don't focus on the grooming. It's all about the pet wash. They profile the pet washes. It's these beautiful glass surrounded, sectioned off area, but the grooming is kind of up away, not focused on. And that's where we think they're really missing here. After we visited these stores, Emily and I went to our local store and asked the staff there, which we've known for over 10 years, what drives their revenue? And they said, and they just got acquired, by the way. They grew to 5 stores and got acquired by Pet Perfect. And they said, grooming. Grooming drives the revenue of this store hands down. So after talking to Emily and kind of sitting down and looking at where do we think we could absolutely optimize the revenue, Emily, being someone who's in these stores daily, I feel like she's at the pet store, she believes we need to expand the grooming services, which I agree with her. There needs to be more of a focus on sales and selling products within the grooming. She had a great comment. She said, treat it like a salon. Oddly enough, I grew up in a salon because my mom owned one, and that's actually how Emily and I met. My wife introduced me to Emily when she was working at a salon. So that made sense to me, and I thought she really nailed it on the head. So focusing on that grooming, if we could double just the grooming, we can add about 1.5 million to their revenue. In addition to that, geographic expansion, we think we can absolutely crush it with adding stores. We've already identified markets in the area with similar demographics to these two. Also, they have great locations, as I mentioned earlier, but I actually think we can do better than that. we want to put these in shopping centers right next to vet clinics. We've already identified one in Glendale, Arizona that would work great for this, right next to a vet who is actually the vet that performed surgery on my dog. So we've got a lot of we've got a lot of paths to growth here. And it's not just grooming. It's not just what VJ is about to talk about. We feel like we can actually grow this into a national brand. Community involvement. This is where, like I mentioned earlier, Emily is phenomenal at. She knows how to get out, engage the community, and just get people coming to the store. She had a great idea. She said we could host canine demonstration days for the police departments. Something like that alone would drive more foot traffic. We're going to, the last thing here I have is increased product range. So we're going to look at what's selling, what's not, and bring in some more high margin, high ticket items. There's even stuff as far as mortuary services. You know, obviously you put your little Fido in a box. We know that happens eventually. And also there's some unique products with higher margins that we could focus on as opposed to what they already have in the store. VJ?
Thanks, Dan. So the current app the business is having, it's a very vanilla app. We are looking to upscale the app, also revamping it completely, adding more product range to it so that we can, currently there are no online sales. So we are looking to bring that to online and make, and also work with our vendors, product vendors, and build some maybe data houses or data warehouses where we can ship it from. Either it can go directly from there and create us. I would not say not same like Amazon, like two-day shipping, but definitely to start with something coming online first, start to partner with the vendors and ship directly from them. So a huge growth opportunity there.
Hey, how are you? Good. One of them is
Along with that, we are also looking to add subscription models, how people can, based on the grooming or based on the products they are purchasing, how we can make sure that they can keep on, like grooming you need every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? There are other services which people need often. So make sure tie the customers into a subscription model so we can increase our revenue from there as well. Another is segmentation and personalization. Everything is about personalization. Like people want something personalized to them, something customized to them whenever they feel more connected to you as a business. Looking to touch down on that as well. Sending offers, they do have a royalty system, but we are looking to upscale the royalty system also so people can make more out of it, and then we can also make more out of it. Sending them offers, like suppose somebody purchase something for the cat and or the dog, and they want to refill it, like replenishment services. They will be getting the notification, hey, you guys purchased this 3 weeks back, it is the time to replenish, do you guys want to order? And they can click right there and they can order directly from there. So adding more services, adding more from the online perspective, that will have us go into the customers, reach customers more and bring them to our store, based on the services, based on the events that we are going to engage, hold up there, and bring more customer engagement. Back to you, Dan.
All right, so that concludes our presentation side. So thank you guys. Thank you, Team Hangman, and everybody that's helped us get to this point. We are going to jump over to the numbers now. Here we are. Should have this sized properly for everybody. So current adjusted EBITDA, we're looking at about 750, slight dip here. We actually put an email to the broker to find out what the reason for that is. They did go through a little rebranding, and we suspect that was the issue. They're asking 3.4 million. We feel more comfortable around 2.4 to 2.8. However, they are going to be our landlords, and we think if we structure this properly, we can talk them down on that. We also know that they've gotten some lowball offers after talking to the broker, and it's been on this business has been listed for a while. So I think we can go in there with the right structure and get this deal. Also, the reason we brought Emily on specifically for her knowledge, but she also just knows how to connect really well with people. And after the call, the broker said, They've talked to a lot of people, but they really loved Emily's passion and her product specialty knowledge. She understands these nutritional labels like I don't. Let's just put it that way. So moving down here to the mud score, as we mentioned earlier, they want out. It's a great business with a somewhat distressed seller. They've realized that we're not going to be here forever, and so they want to get on. And one wants, like I said, pursue his music career. The other one wants to just get out and live life and drive motorcycles around the world, which I can't argue with. And then over here, just what we talked about earlier, the retirement. We feel like the biggest strength is their reputation. They have 4.6 stars over 1,400 reviews. They have no online sales as a weakness and no focus on the grooming. So our opportunities there is grooming, community outreach, online. Their biggest threat being other local pet stores and online food delivery. But as we mentioned earlier, the people are coming in to get our vision is that they've already nailed down the product sales. Now we need to be known as a grooming salon. And that foot traffic, it's going to trump people going online all day. They're going to come in, buy their food right there. It's a one-stop shop. So we are looking to be owner investors. As we mentioned, they have a director. They also have a general manager, and then they have 2 store managers. They have 11 groomers and 22 part-time employees. We are absolutely going to trim that down, pay these people a little bit better, and then bonuses and incentives for sales. They need some sales processes. Is it in our lane? Yes. We have owned retail stores in the past. VJ has his retail experience, and then just the pet industry in general. Emily brings a competitive advantage there for us. No licenses, 2 owners, been around for 18 years. They're about 60, and you can read the rest. So with that said, we will open it up to questions unless VJ has anything else.
And currently the business has good cash on hand, but owners are trying to keep it, and we are looking to talk them out and make sure that the cash on hand stays there.
Awesome. Thank you for the presentation, and thank you for the decks. I love seeing all the pitch decks. That was a really good pitch. So, we look at it, businesses had growth and it had a little bit of a decline from 21 to 22. It looks like from a revenue perspective, but otherwise everything's pretty stable. You're looking at it about 4x. Well, it's 4 times EBITDA, cash on hand. The business, so 316K in inventory is really 80 days of inventory for that business.
So yeah, so their food, they turn around their food in 7 to 10 days, actually, depending on whether it's sitting on the shelves or goes in the refrigerator. It's a little bit difficult right now because it's kind of a blended average because they're carrying accessories, leashes, dog crates, toys. So that's a little misleading on their inventory. We asked about that, and like I said, it's 7 to 10 days on the food.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the cash looks fine. It just looked a little low on inventory because you'd think, right, at 4 million in revenue, I know some of that's going to be services, but you'd think that they're doing probably 700K 600K a month in sales, so you'd think it wouldn't be 80 days worth of inventory, but okay, yeah, otherwise I liked it. It was good presentation. Like you said, it's good business. Pet market's growing. Saw the big pop during COVID. All these people got pets. I mean, there's demand for pets. I don't think the demand for pets is going away. So I like the industry. Like I said, I personally don't do a lot of retail, but you're in a good market, Phoenix and Scottsdale, high income, growing markets. Like I said, it's not in my lane because I try and stay away from retail, but I like the business. I would give it another green light. Good presentation. If anybody has questions, raise your hand, but those are my thoughts on the business. I know there's a lot of action in the chat, a lot of great presentation. Jamie Busby, question from him. Good question too. How do the owners feel about you trimming the staff?
So the part-time, they're not as worried. Most of the staff has been hired within the last 2 to 3 years. They're a lot of kind of lower level associates. They come and go. the 4 managers at the top, I think they're a little bit more attached to. They're not paying them much. And so we need to get in there and find out really what is the role of the top operations manager. And why am I walking into a store where there's, I walked in yesterday, we didn't have anybody engage us. The groomer was sitting down looking at her phone. Like, what are those managers doing? So we think they're a little top heavy. But that we've talked to the seller, and yes, they want to see people stay, but only 2 of them have been there for more than 5 years. So we think we can work that out.
I think
Got
there's
it.
one person who is in the business from a long time. I would say 10 plus years, operations manager, I guess. And others are, as Dan mentioned, pretty, there's a good turnaround of people coming in and going. We'll look to see how we can keep and let the business grow, and have that also how we can keep the knowledge. And owners did a good job on keeping the documentation on how to train people and what the business and how it works and whatnot. So that will definitely help us in adding more stores and increasing our footprint in other markets.
And Kyle, back to your inventory question, the site visits we went on yesterday, I thought that was pretty low too, and I was a little curious as to why. And I walk into the store, and each store probably had 10 to 15 tags that said product not available. So there's obviously some issues there, and as far as the ordering and inventory management that we can work on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if that's an inventory management issue or a supply chain issue. I know certain industries, I don't know if you've been following, there's a massive backup at the Panama Canal, and there's some issues at other ports, specifically on the west coast of the US. So I don't know if there's starting to be some, sporadic supply chain issues again, or if it's just poor inventory management. But honestly, hopefully it's poor inventory management, because you can improve it, make it much more efficient, and improve sales without too much of a CapEx spend.
Yeah, that's funny. They boast about having the products that nobody else has, and my wife and I couldn't find the exact flavor that our little Pomeranian likes. So yes, they're spoiled, but we had to go to another store because they didn't have the flavors. And I do chalk it up to some poor inventory management.
Yeah, Dan, I think we can keep this one of our topic to talk also with the owners on what's going on. Maybe they are checked out. Who knows?